What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. And we're finally back. It's been a while since my last upload. I've been a little bit busy catching up with a little bit of uni stuff, but we're finally going to get back into the content. And in this video, we're going to be going through every AFL team's best win rate since 2000. Now, a couple months ago, I did a similar video where I went through every AFL team's best win rate at each stadium, and that video did pretty well, over 20,000 views. And with the addition of the lights, I'm able to use the green screen again. So I thought, why not do a different version where I go over every AFL team's best win rate against other teams since 2000. I'll only be going through the games since 2000 to make it a little bit easier and to make the figures a little bit more relevant to AFL at the moment. So yeah, let's get straight into it. First team, we've got the Adelaide Crows. Literally almost all the teams' best winning percentage is against the Gold Coast Suns. So for the teams that have the best against the Suns, we'll also go through the second best as well. So their best winning percentage is against the Gold Coast Suns with a 93% winning percentage since their inception, 14 wins and only the one loss, which was last year in 2020. Whilst their second best is against the Giants at a little bit lower at 71%, 10 wins, 4 losses. And their worst is against the Pies since 2000. They've only won 34% of the time with 11 wins, 20 losses, and 1 draw. Next up, we've got the Lions. And again, their best winning percentage is against the Gold Coast Suns, winning 71% of their Q clashes with 15 wins and 6 losses. And their best that isn't the Suns is against the Blues. It's 56% winning percentage, 18 wins, 15 losses. And their worst, which is, quite surprising actually. Richmond, 27%, 8 wins, 22 losses. I think at one stage the Lions had like a 12 or 13 losing streak against the Tigers. It was insane. Next up, we've got Carlton, and just like the other two teams, their best winning percentage was against the Suns with 64%, 9 wins and 6 losses. And their second best is surprisingly against the Tigers, 50%. This makes the figure that more surprising, considering I can't even remember the last time the Blues actually beat the Tigers, especially the opening night of the season. You'd always see the Tigers win, yet they somehow have a percentage of 50% win rate, 18 wins, 18 losses. And the worst is Hawthorn with a staggering 21% win rate with 6 wins and 22 losses against the Hawks. Next up, we have Collingwood, and their best, not surprising, is against the Suns with 73%. 8 wins and 3 losses, and their second best is against the Blues with a 66% win rate at 9 wins and 5 losses. And their worst, which is quite surprising, Hawthorn. The Pies have a poor track record against the Hawks because they have only won 32% of their games since 2000 with a win-loss record of 11 wins, 23 losses. The next team we have the Essendon Bombers, and just like the other 4 sides, their best win percentage in the modern era is against the Suns. 73% of the games they have won, with there being 8 wins, 2 losses and a draw. And their second best is against the Dockers with a 61% winning percentage, 19 wins and 12 losses. And their worst, unsurprisingly, against the Cats, only a 30% win percentage, 8 wins and 19 losses. For the Freo Dockers, their best winning percentage is against the Suns yet again with a 67% percentage, 8 wins and 4 losses. The second best is against Carlton with a 60% win rate at 18 wins and 12 losses. And their worst, not surprisingly, against the Hawks. They play them in the grand final, a 29% win record with 9 wins and 22 losses. Now for the Cats, their best winning percentage is against the Suns with an 85% win rate at 11 wins and 2 losses. Their second best being against the Tigers, in fact, with a 74% winning percentage at 23 wins and 8 losses. And this figure is very staggering. Their worst winning percentage is still above 50%. Against Collingwood. So out of every team they played since 2000, the Cats have won more games than lost, with 19 wins and 15 losses being their worst win rate against a side since 2000, which was against the Pies. Now, next up, we have the Gold Coast Suns, the side that everyone seems to be winning against, which is obviously why their best winning percentage isn't against themselves, and it's against North Melbourne with a very low 47%, meaning that their best win rate is still not over 50%. It's still more losses than wins. Goes to show how poor they've been since their inception. 7 wins and 8 losses. And their worst winning percentage, as I covered earlier, was against Adelaide with only a 7% win rate. They played against the Crows 15 times for only the 1 win. For the Giants, their best win percentage is actually not against the Suns, it's against Carlton with a 73% win rate at 8 wins and 3 losses. And their worst is against Essendon, which is quite surprising. 18% of the times they played the Bombers, they've beaten them with only the 2 wins, 8 losses and 1 draw. Next up, we have Hawthorn, arguably one of the most successful clubs of the modern era. Their best winning percentage is a tie between Carlton and Gold Coast, each with a 73% win rate. 11 wins and 3 losses for the Suns, and 22 wins and 6 losses for the Blues. An absolutely amazing record against those two teams. Whilst their worst is against Geelong at a very, very low 28%. Obviously, as you guys might know, during this period, the Kenneth's curse was a thing. I'm pretty sure they lost like 11 games in a row, which contributes to this figure. Only the 9 wins, 22 losses, and the 1 draw since 2000. Next team we have is the Melbourne Demons, which obviously hasn't seen a lot of success since 2000 yet. Their best win percentage is actually 80% against the two expansion teams, GWS and the Suns, with an 80% win rate at 12 wins and 3 losses. And the worst, a little bit surprising. The team I didn't expect to be the worst was Sydney. The D's only have a 27% win record against the Swans, with only the 9 wins, 21 losses, and the 1 draw. Next team featured on this list, we've got North Melbourne, and their best win percentage is against the Blues, with a 67% win percentage, 18 wins, and 9 losses. And their worst against the Hawks, with a very, very low 24% win rate, only winning 6 out of their 25 games they played against the Hawks. For the Power, they have a really, really good win percentage against the Suns, only losing the 1 game of their 13 games they played, with a 92% win rate. And funnily enough, their first ever game against the Suns was a loss, in which it was the Suns' first ever win in league footy. Since then, the Power have recorded 12 wins in a row against the Suns, and it is currently one of the longest winning streaks still standing against two sides. Their second best win percentage is against my beloved Saints, with a 76% win rate, which isn't surprising. We just never play well against the Power, winning 22 out of their 29 games against the Saints since 2000. And their worst is against Geelong, only winning 29% out of the time. 9 wins, 1 draw, and 21 losses. Next up, we have the Tigers, and as covered earlier, their best win percentage is against the Lions, winning 73% out of the games against them, 22 wins and 8 losses. And their worst, again, featured in this list a lot, we've got the Cats. Only 26% of the time, the Tigers have recorded a win against the Cats, with a record of 8 and 23. Now, next up, we have the Saints, the team I support. Our best win percentage, along with a lot of other clubs, obviously. We've got the Gold Coast Suns. 73% of the time, we record a win against them, with 11 wins and 4 losses. And our last 4 to 5 games against the Suns have all been games won with single-digit margins. The games between the Saints and the Suns have actually been quite close. The second best for the Saints, we have the Blues, who the Saints have beaten 63% of the time, with 22 wins and 13 losses. But the last time we did play the Blues, obviously we know that the Blues got the job done. And no surprises, the Saints' worst record is against the Cats since 2000. We've only beaten the Cats 26% of the time on only 8 occasions out of our 31 games. We are playing the Cats today, so can we hope that figure changes and we can get a win, because that would be very, very important for the Saints' final chances this year. The next team we have are the Swans. This is quite surprising. Their best win rate is against the Blues, winning 78% of the games they played against Carlton, with only 7 losses out of their 32 games they have played. And their worst being the Pies, with a 37% win rate, of 11 wins and 19 losses, which is a little bit surprising. Next up, we've got the West Coast Eagles, and just like every other side, basically, the Suns are the team that they have their best win rate against, 77%. Only the 2 losses, 10 wins, 1 draw. And their second best is against North Melbourne, who haven't really seen much success since 2000, with a 68% win rate of 21 wins and 10 losses. And just like every other team as well, the Cats are the team that they played the worst against, only winning 33% out of the 30 times they play there, with only the 10 wins. And last but not least, we have the Western Bulldogs, and you've guessed it, the Suns are the team that the Dogs have had their best win rate against, with 79% of the time winning, 11 wins, 3 losses. And their second best is against the Blues, with a 62% win rate, 16 wins and 10 losses. And their worst, not surprisingly, is against Geelong, with a 31% win rate, 10 wins and 22 losses. Those were the stats, those were the figures, those were every AFL team's best and worst win rate against other clubs since 2000. As I said before, I did a video on each team's best and worst win rate at every stadium, so if you want to check that video out, I'll chuck it in the description. I'm pretty sure I did that video based on all time, so VFL, AFL history, whilst this one, I wanted to do it a little bit different and do it since 2000. I think this took me like 3 hours to find all the figures. It actually took me a lot longer than what you probably expected for me to find these figures. So yeah, I hope the video does well, and if it does, I'll continue making these sort of videos maybe once a month or maybe even twice a month. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching this video. I do appreciate it. I'll be doing another video tomorrow, and yeah, expect a little bit more consistent uploads throughout the next few weeks.